Hi, my name is Aaliyah Zealous. I am a dark fantasy self-published author, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about phase 3 of my book launch. So if you didn't know, on September 24th I launched my latest novel, CRONES, and I've been doing this whole book launch plan just to get the most out of launching the book, and so far it's been going good. So I want to touch on a few things of how phase 2 went with my book launch, and then we're going to go into phase 3. So to recap, I started phase 1 of my book launch at the beginning of August, and that was all about promoting the book, getting people familiar with the book CRONES, and really just putting it out there in front of an audience and building momentum. So for phase 2, that was a continuation of that. I think the only thing that I did different with phase 2, which I started at the beginning of September, I posted about the pre-orders and how they were live for people to get their pre-ordered copies of the book. I got a few pre-orders for CRONES, and it wasn't anything too crazy, and I wanted to continue promoting the book. Now the promotion of the book went really well. I had a few pieces of content that really got a lot of engagement and really got a lot of people excited for the book. I'm still sitting with that, I guess in the future, saving those really good juicy pieces of content for when I launch the book or for launch day, because I noticed that, I guess one thing was I was really worried about putting all of my good content out in the pre-order time period and people forgetting about the book and people being excited then, but then forgetting about the book and not really being interested anymore by time that the book went live. I don't think it was too bad on my launch day. Oh, well, let's go ahead and talk about my launch day. So on my launch day went pretty well. On launch day, I had quite a few people buy the book on my Amazon and through Ingram Sparks, and then I just had like a couple of people buy it directly from my site, which is completely fine. So it went really good that I could see like directly on launch day there were people waiting in line to get the book. So that was fantastic to see, and I'm not mad at that at all, and I don't think that it's like too big of a deal to have this idea, but I think that in the future, for a future launch day, I would want to save some of my best pieces of content now that I've kind of played with the content and played with the promo videos to see what had like a lot of engagement. I think I want to save those for the launch day, just so on the launch day, as soon as people are excited, or even just during the launch week, as soon as people are excited, they can immediately go and get the book. So yeah, I'll play with that with a future launch. I don't think, like I said, I don't think like it's a big deal. I don't think that it inherently was a disadvantage or anything like that. And I still think that people who were interested in those in the book back then and the content and were super excited for that content, I still feel like they're going to stumble. Either they saved it or they're still going to stumble across my content again because they did follow me. A lot of people who like that content did wind up following me. So I feel like they will most likely see my content again promoting the book, and it will remind them. I even had someone say on my TikTok when I posted a video, and I forgot what video it was, but I posted a video and I think it was in reference to CRONES, and someone was like, oh, that's a reminder. Oh, was it in reference to, it was either in reference to CRONES or Royal Jelly. I think it was actually Royal Jelly, and someone was actually like, oh, I'm glad this came across my feed. This is my reminder to get the book, and they wound up getting the book. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just food for thought, just for future reference of people's attention spans and trying to really figure out this whole momentum thing and how that plays in my favor and for the favor of the book. It went good. I posted actually a lot. I think I did a countdown, a week countdown up to it. So I did like 7 videos leading up to my CRONES release. So I actually posted quite a bit. But phase 2 went well. Like I said, I had a lot of my most impactful pieces of content do well during that time period. And I guess I'll go over what those were just so you guys can have a good picture of what went well for me in terms of promotion videos wise. Let's see. Okay, so I did a makeup tutorial, and I will pop the video up here, but I did a makeup tutorial based off of the book Crones. That didn't actually get like a whole bunch of engagement like that. It did well. It got like 86 views, 2 bookmarks, 4 comments and stuff, so it did okay, but it didn't do like, it wasn't that impactful. It wasn't one of my most impactful pieces of content. My Labor Day sale video was one of my most impactful pieces of content that I did. So I did a video on my Labor Day sale about the pre-orders for my latest novel Crones. One of my most impactful videos was I did a video about showcasing the familiars within my book Crones. So within the book there's like familiars, which are like animal companions, magical animal companions, and I did a breakdown of the 3 Crones magical companions, which is like Bassett the cat, Genevieve the spider, and then Miss Tynetta has a familiar that shall not be named, and I left that as a secret for people to find out in the book. That did really well. I got like 800 views on that, 137 likes, 40 bookmarks, and then maybe like 3 comments. So that did well in my retrospect, because I just reached 1,000 followers in 5 months on my TikTok. So I got pretty good engagement by my standards. I did an edit with me and edit these 3 chapters with me for the book of Crones, where I edited 3 chapters called Communion and Cookies, Miss Mary, and Moving Jars. People seem to really like this format that I do. I am posting it right here. People seem to like the format that I do with telling the chapters. This isn't my most impactful video with this format, I think, because how I started it, it wasn't how I usually started this video. But I do have a video where another write with me / edited with me, where I did the same concept, which people with the same thing, and people really liked that too. They liked how before TikTok muted it and I had to repost it, people really liked that too. I talked about the 4th Crone. What was my other? Oh, so one of my other impactful videos is a video that I did about the Crones' favorite beverages. So within the book you see that there is that the Crones, they drink a lot of tea. So I did a video on which are the Crones' favorite teas and why. That got pretty good engagement. A lot of people like that, like 41 people bookmarked it. I find that if you can put a recipe, some type of DIY project, specifically like a recipe that people can try that are in conjunction with the book, a lot of people really like that. They gravitate towards that. So it's like something that they can do for themselves, but also a nice story that you're telling about the book, and people tend to save that. So they want to try the recipes, and then they also want to read the book. So the one that I did on the tea recipes and the kinds of tea that the Crones like to drink and like the benefits of them, that had really good engagement. A lot of people bookmarked it. A lot of people liked it. That was one of my most impactful pieces of content for phase 2. Also, my rites of passage video within the book Nairobi experiences a rites of passage. So I really highlighted it in this video, talking about how you should experience a rites of passage through every stage of your life. So not only did I highlight Nairobi having a rites of passage and what a rites of passage is, but I also gave a little tutorial on how people can create their own rites of passage, and I think people liked that too, liked that aspect of it too. I also did another little video. This was one of my countdown videos. I don't really know why this was maybe this was impactful because I was talking about what the story was about in kind of a mystery kind of way, and people enjoyed that. So just the concept of why I would write something called Crones and why I would write something centered around 3 older ladies with significant power, and how I felt like because they are like the freest beings on the planet. And it has like a couple different camera angles, so people liked that. That was a pretty impactful piece. I think many of my countdowns were impactful, and of course my second most impactful piece was on launch day when I posted a Q&A with me about Crones. So I did a Q&A style interview with just me in the room and I was answering questions about Crohn's, my writing process, what inspired it and stuff like that. And that was a pretty impactful piece too. A lot of people liked it, bookmarked it, and gravitated towards that too. And I think quite a few of my sales probably came from this video too. So what I'm doing moving forward into phase 3 with my book launch is I was thinking about continuing to post 3 times a week. I don't think that I'm going to do that because I'm trying a different strategy. Not that it wasn't good to post 3 times a week. It's just that going into October, I have other things that I'm going to be pushing as well. So Dead Queen, my Kindle Vella, I am going to be promoting that in October. And because I don't want all of my content just to be promote, I'm trying some new content that I'm really excited about too, centered around self-care and reading and books. So I'm not going to post 3 times a week with Crohn's, maybe twice a week, hopefully. And I'm also just hesitant on it because I don't want to overwhelm myself with constantly producing content and having something all the time, like every single day to produce. So that's why I'm not trying to overwhelm my schedule full of videos that I have to shoot and creative ideas that I have to come up with to get them scheduled. So I'd rather just make some impactful pieces of content and then post those instead of really running myself into the ground. Y'all know who I am. I'm all about impact and quality, not quantity. So I'm not going to post 3 times a week centered around Crohn's going into October, more so like twice a week centered around Crohn's going into October. And then of course, in between that, I'm still going to be talking about self-care and books, which I will still be featuring my books in those videos as well. So it'll still kind of be promoting my books, but not to the grand scale of just having a video solely dedicated to promoting my book. But I do want to maintain posting, of course, to maintain that momentum of the release. So now that it's released, I know that this week and yeah, just the next couple of weeks are probably going to be the most, I want to say impactful, I want to say important, but I don't even know if those are the right words, but they're probably going to be the time where I'm getting the most sales because it's out, people can buy it right now. And once they see a promotional video and they see that, oh, there's a book called Crohn's and they are interested in it, they can directly go and buy it. So these posts that I'm going to be posting are going to continue going deeper into the story. I think that's just what I'm all about, and that's what makes the most sense when it comes to promoting your book, is learning how to go deeper into your content. I think in the last video I talked about how I think a lot of authors, one of their biggest fears is when they're promoting is saying too much about the book and giving away too much of the story so people wouldn't be surprised or engaged in the book anymore. But I find that that's very opposite for me, and I don't know if it's because I always have lots and lots of twists and turns in my book, or I always just find an aspect of the book and make it a big thing. For instance, like the rites of passage within the story. The rites of passage is not a big thing within the story of Crohn's. Like, it's something that she does and goes through, but it's not like the main premise of the book. But even just pulling that out of, she has a rites of passage and then making it a bigger elaborate thing, explaining what a rites of passage is, explaining how it impacts her, and then even giving tips on how people can create their own rites of passage. I think that that's a form of going deeper into the story, of not necessarily telling the whole story of what happens and everything like that, but going deeper into different aspects of the story, of making it more of a thorough, well thought out world. So I'm going to go deeper into all that to say I'm going to keep going deeper into my content with the book. I've been posting some advice coming from the character's point of view, so like witchy tips, think of like Wednesdays witchy tips or something like that, posting advice from the book that the Crones have given in the book to Nairobi, and I'm just posting it separately as like a witchy tip of the day. So I'm going to be doing more of that, also because that's not low effort, but it's much more low effort than all the other videos that I've been doing. Also, what I have written down of doing more DIY projects when it comes to the book. I already told you guys that's one of my favorite ways to promote a book is DIY projects or recipes that I can get in association with the book. I do have a couple lined up. I don't think that they're too difficult. It's just like I said, when you do like really high impact, I gotta stop saying impact so much. How many times can I say that word? But when you're doing like really high quality video where there's just different angles, it's a whole DIY project and you want to show the different angles of it and stuff, it can just be a lot of work, and then it's a lot of work to edit too. So I'm excited to do more of those, but I don't want to completely overwhelm myself with all of these videos because I got other stuff to do and I don't want to be overwhelmed. So I'm excited to do more of those DIY ones. I have a good one lined up. I don't know how good people are going to think that it is. I can only assume that people would think that it's good. You never really know what people will think it is good, but I think that it's a good one, so I'm excited to put it out. Of course, some more live readings, probably much more live readings of like the chapters. Again, I'm not actually going live, I'm just recording myself reading an excerpt. I don't think I've read too many excerpts during my book phases, but I think that now that the book is out, would be a good time to read some of those excerpts. And yeah, I think that that's what I'm going to do moving forward. So I'm excited to see now that the book is out, like what the results are in sales and what the results are in mainly sales. I'm really happy that I planned this book for the beginning of fall because it's such a fall book, and now that it's going into October, which is peak spooky season, and the book just aligns naturally with spooky season. So I'm excited just to see how the nature of the season impacts people to want to read seasonally and want to read something that has fall vibes. I think that that's such a huge part in book sales as well, because you can never underestimate just when you're writing a book that is seasonally in line with something, how that season can really impact my camera died. But like I was saying, all of the fall promotion that's going on during the autumn season is already doing a lot of the pre-promoting for me. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the numbers are looking like in October. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I think I might do one more update. Yeah, it might just be an update on how the book is going and the whole promotional thing is going. This will be my last video on the book phase, the book launch phase for CRONES, but I will do an update sometime in the future on just how things are going. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!